Hey Leos, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your first half of December general reading here. So in your meditation, it was short but sweet. I saw an image, it was like a full moon in the sky, and I was looking at a large stone wall that was separating two large pieces of land. It kind of reminded me of, if anyone is familiar with the Neil Gaiman work of Starfell, or seen the movie. Is it No, it's not Starfell. Stardust, I think it is. I get my fantasies mixed up. I think it's Stardust. But there's a large wall that separates like two big areas of land as property. And I saw this kind of shadowed figure kind of pacing up and down this wall. And then I looked up into the sky where the full moon was. And then above the full moon, there was a constellation of stars in the shape of a platypus. So that was the meditation. I don't know much about platypus energy. It's not one of those ones that comes up too often, which is perfect because I did some research, and platypus energy is a lot about uniqueness. So I did write down a couple of things, platypus highlights, if you will, about what their energy represents. So they are about uniqueness. They're also about sensory awareness and really having the confidence to not feel the need to fit in, and to really embrace your differences. So platypus message says, trust your inner guidance and count on nature for direction. So that sensory aspect as well of connecting within. And by relying on our feelings, we can master our fears and cunningly avoid doing that which is not in our highest good. I'm gonna read that again, that feels important. By relying on our feelings, we can master our fears and cunningly avoid doing that which is not in our highest good. And that is platypus medicine. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what your cards say. Hey Leos, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of December. Animal energy, oh, it is so perfect. I love it when it's on the nose. So fascinating. So we have the octopus here, really brilliant. So I gotta point out that we have a water animal, and we saw the platypus, which is also water energy. You know, octopus is really interesting because you see all of that coloring around the third eye area and the chakra, the crown chakra there. Octopus medicine is largely about clairvoyance, right? So it's about seeing things clearly. So it's really interesting that we're kind of feeling some psychic energy around this, some clairvoyance. Platypus energy is also about that. It's through connecting to your feelings and getting that psychic awareness. So in that way, platypus energy also represents like clairsentience, right? Empath energy, you're feeling things, very clearly from a psychic perspective. So fascinating that this is coming up for you. It's very psychic energy here. I like it, of course. Octopus most closely equates, it's a hybrid energy. It equates to the 7 of Cups in the Tarot and also the 9 of Cups, right? So what's interesting about that is 7 of Cups is having a lot more options than maybe is, helpful. This is a bit of like, overwhelm at all of the choices, options. It's a bit of scattered energy. Some people refer to 7 of Cups as the dreams deferred key because it's, never landing on the one thing and committing to it fully, or never taking the time or having the courage it takes to follow down the path that you really want to, and thinking, well, what's a smart choice versus what I really want to do, which also makes sense with the platypus energy and having the confidence that it takes to really commit to your own path, regardless of what anyone else would think or say, or, really be involved in any way about it. It's just about really doing you. You do you, platypus energy. Now, how it relates to 9 of Cups is fascinating because 9 of Cups we know is the wish fulfillment key, and it's having, good fortune and abundance, right? So 7 of Cups is a bit of the shadow energy of Octopus. And if we can get through the 7 of Cups energy, focus on what we really, want to work towards from a place of truth, right? Our hearts, in other words, Then we get to graduate to the Eight of Cups, where we're leaving behind the rest of those cups that, you know, are not going to work for us or that we don't really desire, which then gets us to the Nine of Cups, the wish fulfillment. So the shadow aspect of this is remaining in the Seven of Cups and never graduating to the Nine of Cups experience. So this has an inherent sense of that choice as well. So it's a really beautiful energy, Octopus. With that being said, let's see what's going on. Platypus energy, it's fascinating. It's just not one that's, I don't know if it's ever come up before. You learn something new, right? I like it. Okay, so we have the Five of Wands here. We're doing the Edgar Allan Poe tarot deck today. Don't you love it? I really love it. Interesting, there's like a stone side here. It was kind of like the wall that I saw in the meditation with the big stone wall. So a Five of Wands, traditionally speaking, it of course is fire energy, like you. Five is the number of change as well. So Five of Wands is very much about internal conflict and external conflict. This is something that can be felt internally. Like I have resistance within myself. I don't feel at peace. Or externally, it can be, you know, competitive energy or just being at odds with yourself or others, right? It's interesting how this is depicted here. It's it's kind of like this naughty little jester has created, like, you know, a very morose chandelier of screaming, burning people, right? You know, it's interesting here because we can look at this and say like, oh, that looks like a terrible time. But the energy that I'm getting this for y'all with everything that's come before with the platypus and the octopus, it feels very much like, you know, you could look at this from the realm of like, what a creative solution to a problem. You're lighting up a space in a chandelier formation while at the same time taking care of, you know, these people who, like, I don't know, I guess need to be restrained in some way because they're making too much trouble on the ground. And my point is, this can be like a perspective shift for you. Right? But I also have a feeling that around this, because fire is about transformation and change, that there's an aspect of you coming in here where it's like, what aspect of you is this naughty joker up here who can kind of have this bird's eye view, and this is kind of representative or representing all of your fears or all of your thoughts that, you know, are like, can I do that? Should I do that? When will that happen? And then you're up here just sort of like, you know what, I'm going to rise above that and just not have that resistant energy within myself and just follow the moment as it feels joyful, right? And see where I end up. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, Leo. Let's see what else is going on. Okay, I was just admiring this card this morning. I think this is my favorite. No, I know this is my favorite depiction of the Two of Swords that I've ever seen. I'm so obsessed with this. And I love that you just got it. So here we have the Two of Swords with a full moon. Remember, I saw that in your meditation. We've got Mr. Edgar Allan Poe himself. You know, this is also a, I think it's a moth, but I think it's called like, is it the death moth or the skull moth? I forget, but it's really, really beautiful with the Two of Swords here. So traditionally speaking, right, swords rule the realm of the mind. So Two of Swords, one of those swords is the head and the other sword is the heart. And this is about taking some time out, right? Taking on some of that Lady Justice energy with justice being blind and really sitting down and bringing together your heart and your head for equal conference, right? Without judgment, without expectation, without a timetable. Just going, okay. In stillness, there are answers. I want to have all of the information available to me from my heart, which, you know, we picked up on with the feeling and the clairsentience, right? And also my mind, because I recognize that they both have something to say and they both have information that I need. So you'd be missing out by not assuming the Two of Swords position as it comes up as an opportunity. You know, moth energy as well has a lot to do with, it represents empaths. Whales and moths for me represent empaths. So it's interesting here that you're getting a symbol of being an empath, which is a psychic ability, by the way. It means that you feel other people's feelings as your own, right? It's interesting that we're looking at an empath energy with the Two of Swords in the context of staying connected to your feelings and allowing them to, you know, serve as a source of psychic insight for you. What did we say? What was that quote? By relying on our feelings, we can master our fears and cunningly avoid doing that which is not in our highest good. It kind of sounds like that to me with this key with the 5 of Wands. Like this is the fear. This is you like cunningly avoiding it. And the cunning is the jester energy here. So it's fascinating. You know, another thing about moth energy is it represents, you know, kind of a death energy as well, with transformation and change and needing to be made aware of things that want to be changed and released so that you can unencumbered move on to that 9 of Cups wish fulfillment reality, right? Interesting. It's really speaking to me of this hybrid. Interesting that it's in the 2nd position as well, right underneath the Octopus with that. How do we graduate from the 7 of Cups, cross the bridge of the 8 of Cups, and get to the 9 of Cups? It's the 2 of Swords. That is the bridge. Right? You're assuming this position to discern what needs to go, right? When I think about the symbol of a wall, like in that meditation as well, and it was like stardust, which is, you know, star energy, great hope, great faith, illumination. When I think about a wall, it's a separation. It was a stone wall. It was like you were pacing in front of this wall that you just couldn't cross over. It's interesting. Okay, what's going on? Good Lord, Leo. All right, so 5 of Swords here. What a deck, right? 5 of Swords. So you got another 5. It's interesting because you've got the 5, the 2, and then another 5. So a lot of change afoot, a lot of change and afoot. And, you know, 5 of Swords is very much about acting outside of your own integrity or other people around you, acting outside of their own integrity in order to meet their own ends. This is a lot of ego. This is, you know, self-centeredness. This is getting in your own way, allowing others to get in your way, and just really feeling all of that inner tension and conflict in the mind. So it's fascinating here. You know, what I'm getting is when I saw that wall, like in the meditation, one of the things that reminds me of as well is Humpty Dumpty. When Humpty Dumpty fell off and, you know, couldn't get back together, all the king's horses, all the king's men, couldn't put him back together again, or so I've heard. And then we have this like broken apart, you know, person who's just, it's like there's no putting this back together. It's really interesting, Leo. It's very, very interesting. You know, I'm really drawn to this eye here as well. It's kind of, I know this is a little bit morose, but hey, it's Poe. So this eye like popped out of his head here, and we're talking about the clairvoyance with the clear seeing, right? So let me tell you a little story here that's coming to mind with this. So I was at the DMV the other day and I was renewing my license, and I was with someone who told me like, okay, if they make you take the eye test and you can't see something clearly, like squint because it makes things more clear. And I thought to myself, like, how funny, because that's right. Like, why does squinting and like closing your eyes a bit help things come into focus more? What is that really about, right? You are lessening the stimuli and creating a laser focus for yourself. And that's what I'm getting from this 5 of Swords here. I feel like certain things need to go, and I feel that's what it is. There are just certain things that are not allowing for a cohesion that wants to happen. We're talking about our inner struggle, inner turmoil, outer circumstances that are putting you in a place where you feel at odds with yourself or others. And it's just going like, you know, if it feels this way, if this is what it is, you know, be aware of it and then be open. Be open to any changes that want to come up for you around, like, this is how to move away from this energy and into something that feels more cohesive and more 6 of Swords, because 6 of Swords after this is about inner peace and transition and movement. And that's what I feel like is the key, because there's a transition and movement that I'm picking up on, but it feels like the way is somewhat, there's like roadblocks up. And I feel like part of that is like a divine sort of influence on it, saying like there's some information that you need before you can breach this obstacle and go down this path. There's certain things that want to change. There's certain things you need to know. There's certain epiphanies that need to happen. There's certain feelings that need to be expressed and brought into the light of day, right? So there's more information that wants to come through to you and some decisions that want to be made. And it feels like that is what's going to get you to the other side of that wall, whatever that wall represents for you. Let's get some advice. Why don't we? Let's get some advice. Oh, well, that was quick. Oh, hilarious. Oh, look what's on the bottom. Six of Swords from a different deck. Six of Swords, what we were talking about. So you got the Five of Pentacles. It did come up in reverse. I'm going to hold it in the upright for the sake of the visual. Another 5 here. Triple five. 5 times 3, 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. Interesting. I feel like we're trying to get you to the sixes here, right? In some way, it feels like, Six of Swords, inner peace, happy transition, 6 of Wands, victory, success, recognition, 6 of Pentacles, reciprocity, give and take, financial abundance. It feels that way to me. So it's like focusing on the 6 energy, but it feels like you're kind of stuck in the 5. 5 of Pentacles being your advice in reverse. When this is in the upright, this is about feeling separate from what you desire. This is about feeling like, no, I don't have a way inside of this building. I don't have a way through. Now, what's fascinating about this is look at all these wolf pelts here. It's so sad. Look at all these wolf pelts. What do wolves represent? They represent instinct and being connected to what you know to be true in your own sense of direction. They are pure instinct wolves. They do not get in their head. They don't ever think. I mean, it's very, very clear. They know what they know. They're connected. They move as one. That's the pack mentality. So it's fascinating that that's coming up in this way and you're getting it in reverse as your advice. I feel like your advice is to know and embody and choose to believe that separation is a construct and not reality, meaning you are never separate from what you desire or where you want to be or how you want to feel. You are never actually separate from it. And I know saying that, it's like, well, that's really easy to say, but what is that? Well, the truth is that if those feelings of separation are constructs of our own fear, our own history, our own self-sabotage with the 5 of Swords, our own ways of thinking from the past, then we can go, oh, well, what if I assume the 2 of Swords position, become aware of it, and by doing so, with your advice, come from a place of separation to oneness, wholeness, confidence within your own path and what's right for you. I feel like a lot of this is you're being encouraged to step outside of some sort of construct or some sort of chains, whether self-imposed or imposed by others, and allow yourself freedom from it because the way forward is in that energy. I'm also hearing with this to catch yourself when you're with your thoughts as well, with thinking, is it ever going to be better? Am I ever going to have financial abundance? Am I ever going to be, free? Am I ever going to, anything like that? Like thoughts really are things. So it's not going like, don't think those thoughts. We're human beings. Of course we're going to think those thoughts, right? But it's about observing them and then dancing with them and questioning them and being a private investigator for yourself and going like, okay, thoughts, where did that come from? Why, when this happened, was I thinking about something from my childhood? Like what's going on here? Are those two related somehow? Like observe those thoughts. They're going to hold a lot of information and I dare say it, even freedom for you. Okay, which is 6 of Swords. Interesting. Okay, let's get an article. Oh, I love it. I love it. So you got the Camel Boy. Number 33. Oh, 3 plus 3 is 6. Fascinating. So it says small steps asking for help. I think this is brilliant advice. Small steps asking for help. We were talking about this, about connecting and asking those questions, but I'm also getting from this, like you can talk this through with whoever's around you that's a support team, but I'm getting to turn to spirit, turn to ancestor, turn to God, whatever this is for you, your higher self with the, 2 of Swords. That's what we're doing when we assume this position, right? So it's asking for help, but it's also going, okay, I really would like to find relief around this. I'd like an answer around this. I'd like to move forward. I'd like to end up here, whatever this is for you. Base it in feeling and then ask for help from there. So instead of like, I want to get this job, I want to make this much money, I want to move to this place, with the platypus energy, I'm getting to focus it around a feeling. I want to feel content. I want to feel peace. I want to feel happy. I want to feel secure. Whatever that is, the feeling is going to inform just about everything else. Because if what you're wanting to feel is, for example, peace, maybe the job that you think that you want is not going to give you that. Maybe the relationship that you're in is not going to lead to that. Maybe the whatever, ABCXYZ. So if you open it up a bit, right? This is the funny part about manifestation. It's like, well, we need to be specific, but not overly specific, right? Because you're also co-creating this, you know, with a power, a source, an aspect of yourself that can see a little bit further down the road than you can. So it's going, you know what? I want to feel happy. I want this. We're going into a new year. I want this to be my happiest year yet. I want this to be my most peaceful year yet. I want this to be whatever it is for you. But it's connect it to a feeling. Just try it. Connect it to a feeling and then see what inspiration comes as a result of that, right? Really interesting. Also, camel energy is really beautiful. It's temperance energy. You know, it speaks of that always trusting that you're going to have exactly what you need when you need it, which is hearkening back to the Five of Pentacles as well. So fear-based decisions, fear-based choices can kind of lead us down those roads of fear because we are afraid that, you know, we won't have the financial support we need. We won't have the love that we need. We won't have the success, the certainty, whatever. And you're being asked to flip your mindset around that and really connect to the feeling that you want to feel and then allow that road to pave itself for you as a result of connecting to that intention. Okay? All right, there we are, Leo. Thank you for gifting me with a new animal energy that I got to learn about today. I love it. With that being said, just thank you, Leo. Thank you so much for being here. And I so appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'd so love that. Really leave me a comment. Let me know how you doing, Leos. You guys tend to be kind of quiet on the channel here, and I know you're fiery spirits, so let me know in the comments how you're finding this. I would so appreciate that. And with that being said, just thank you again for being here. And most of all, and as always, Leos, thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.